Ooh-wee! Oh, it smells like shit! Oh, baby. Oh, fuck yeah. Just gotta get the fucking camera set up, huh? Aside from setting the camera up, I like to set my ass on fire. Allow me to slip into something a little more comfortable. Shall we? Woo! Man, it is hellish out there. What day is today? Let's see here. Shit, the camera's running. I gotta pretend I can read this thing. Ah, yes, of course it is, aha! Yes, of course, yes. Yes, of course. How could I forget? It is time to make video. Welcome back to another video today. You know me, it's your boy, Olive Oil Soup. So what's going on, everybody? Cool, I don't care. So yeah, I'm back at it again with another very, very epic video. And of course, I'm going to be showcasing... I should title the video, Watch Olive Oil Soup Not Be Fucking Prepared. Where is it? Where is it? Ah, here it is. Fuck. We're going to review The Shining. Fuck out of here. Not just the movie, though. No, we're double teaming today's episode. We're also going to review the book. Double team. Said fuck out of here. Bunch of... So, welcome back to another video. My name is Olive Oil Soup, and I review shit that you've either never heard of or that you don't give two fucks about. Excuse me. So today, we're going to be reviewing something that you certainly do not, could care less about, and that is my comparison between the book and the movie adaptation of... The movie adaptation of Stephen King's The Shining, which is easily one of the best books that I've ever read. But how does it compare to the movie? Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. They're vastly different. Whoa, shocker. Yeah, I know. Woo. Shocker. Edit that part out. So without any further ado, we'll get straight to the review of the movie. Fuck me. Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, which featured Jack Nicholson as Jack Torrance. Wait, is it really Jack Nicholson? There's no way I got that name right. It's Jack Nicholson as Jack Torrance. Why am I only just now seeing that correlation? Why am I so fucking stupid? Oh my gosh. So overall... Bitch. Overall, I'd give this movie about, fuck out of here. I'd give this movie about a 4.5 out of 10. Sure, it is a really good movie, and it is very revolutionary for the entire horror industry as a whole. But it didn't stand up to the standards that the book set. Now, did it? Now, I do still love the movie, mainly because I saw it before I read the book. But, the entire reason I read the book was because apparently Stephen King himself, when he saw this movie, he absolutely fucking hated it. And I was like, well, that was a really good movie. How on earth could you hate such a good movie? Then I read the book. But we're not going to get into that yet. So, overall, the story follows the same story as the book does. It's about a family, who are hired with the task of taking care of a hotel for the winter. And slowly over time, the husband of the family starts to develop cabin fever. It's fairly straightforward. Also, the hotel is haunted. So that's a thing. And the movie is based off of a book made by Stephen King. So the movie was actually pretty good. It was revolutionary for its time. It had decent effects, mainly because they were practical, because it was the... Yeah, fuck you, too. They were practical because it was the 80s, but it was still really nice. Really nice shit right there. I'd consider it pretty revolutionary for the horror industry, because, you know, it kind of set down the standards that future horror movies were gonna have to live up to. Now, would I say that it's absolutely that good? No. There are better Stephen King movies. But sure enough, it certainly set up the standards for future horror movies. You can choose to think of that as a good or a bad thing based on whether or not you like the movie. So, yeah. On to the book. Now for the moment that you've all been waiting for, the review of this book. Now let me give a little background here, and this is going to be the longest segment of the video. I might end up putting it into clips. No, I'm too lazy for that shit. We're going old school, straight up, just 5 minutes of me talking. People are going to skip to the end because of that. So basically, I hate reading. I know, ironic, because I read comic books as a living. But that's not what I mean. I hate reading chapter books. Chapter books always bore the absolute shit out of me. I never have ever had fun reading a chapter book. And I will always blame that on school. Not because it's the stereotypical thing or the thing that people say. It's because it's true. If somebody tells you, I hate reading because school ruined it for me, don't scoff at them. They're right. School ruins reading for you because they pick the most boring books out of all of them and make you analyze them to the point where any chance of you enjoying it, gone. The only time I've ever enjoyed a book that the school would have ever made me read was because they didn't make me read it. I need to be a little more clear on that. So, Animal Farm. That's a pretty common book that people are forced to read during school. And I wasn't forced to read it. But I wanted to read it because of the Rick and Morty references to it. No, there are not Rick and Morty references in the book. Sorry to give you blue balls on that. But it was a surprisingly good book. And, you know, it is still one of my favorite books of all time. Because it's well written, it's a very competent story, and I found it a very interesting take on the Russian Revolution. So, overall, I liked it. Was it perfect? No, it got boring in some parts, but it's decently short, so those boring parts kind of get roughed out by the end, because, you know, it's 10 chapters long and 144 pages, so it's really not that bad of a read either. However, one day, I decided, you know what? At the time, I wasn't doing very great in school, mainly because of late work, mind you, but I wasn't doing very amazing, in school, so I was like, you know what, maybe I need to read so that I can be motivated, not only motivated to do my work, but also expand my knowledge a little bit, you know, because I have English next semester, and oh boy, that's going to be fun, because it's honors too. Smite me now. So, yeah, so I picked up the book, and I was like, I'm going to read this 20 minutes every day. As a goal for myself, and I was like, I don't have to enjoy this, let's just get this over with. I was already 90 pages in. Normally when I get a chapter book, I read a few pages out of it, and I'm like, alright, cool. And then I never read it again. I wish I was joking. This has resulted in me, you know, never finishing any books, except for this one in Animal Farm. You know how many chapter books I've finished? And I'm not going to count the ones that school made me read, by the way, because it's sadder if I don't count the ones that school made me read. 3. Animal Farm, The Shining, and The Hobbit. Yeah. I would count the comic books, but I said chapter books. I'm not going to get into whether comic books are books or not, because people are going to argue about that, and I don't want to see that shit. So, yeah. So I read the book, and I was like, I was 90 pages in. Why didn't I finish this thing? I remember really liking it. And sure enough, yep, I continued reading it. Holy shit. This book is amazing. Alright? This book is my favorite book of all time. It is amazing. It is a page-turner, I have to admit. You've outdone yourself this time, Stephen. I've always been a pretty big fan of Stephen's works. I've never actually finished one of his books until The Shining. But I've mostly seen the movies based off of his books, and I've read a few pages out of stories like It and Dreamcatcher and Mr. Mercedes. And while they were good stories, because of my disliking for chapter books, I never really was open-minded enough to, finish them. So yeah, I picked up The Shining, and sure enough, this is my favorite book of all time. It is the best thing ever created. It is some people might disagree with me, and that's okay. But I'm telling you right here, right now, from somebody who doesn't like chapter books. Well, most chapter books. This is the best read you're ever going to get. Alright? Mainly because it's Stephen King. Now, the fact that it's Stephen King should already tell you that this is going to be a damn good book. Because, let's give a little perspective here. I grew up in a very conservative family. Alright? Both religiously and politically, but I'm not going to get into that. And I guarantee you, if I asked any of my most conservative family members about Stephen King, I guarantee you one of them has read his books or watched one of his movies and liked it. That's how much of a damn good writer this guy is. This guy knows what he's doing. He appeals to literally everybody. Which comes as a surprise to me, because horror is one of the most looked down upon things in most genres when it comes to media. So it comes as a surprise to me that Stephen has managed, or Mr. King, out of my respect for you, sir, I'm going to call you Mr. King if you're watching this. Mr. King has decided he knows what he's doing, alright? He knows what he's doing. The guy knows what he's doing. Like, I'm going to try to spoil as little as possible, but there was so much left out of the movie. And I kind of understand why, because, you want to get it out on time, and on top of that, you don't want it to be a 4-hour movie, because then nobody will watch it. Because, it's a horror movie. Why would you watch a 4-hour horror movie? There's no point to it. Like, I'm a very patient person, but there's no way in hell I'm watching a 4-hour horror movie. But this book, I'm going to try to spoil as little as possible. So, I'm going to use 2 points, both of which are from the same character, which is Wendy and Jack's son, Danny. Alright, Danny. He's 6, both in the movie and in the book. And, holy shit. I never realized how much of a sucker I was for, writing from a child's perspective. Because, there are two very notable things that I saw. There was one point where Danny walked in on 2 people 69ing. Do you know what he called it? I'm serious. I want you to guess what he called that. He's 6. He's not going to call it a double blowjob. He's not going to call it 69ing. He's not going to even call it its proper name, which is oral sex. Of the double variety. He called it 2 people kissing pee-pees. I will admit I kind of chuckled at that, because I thought that was kind of funny. Because, as we all know, sex is funny. But then, after that, realization, hit like a fucking baseball bat. I didn't buy this just to make that joke, I swear. Here. There. I bought it for that joke. I'll probably wake up in another 4 months. Just kidding, you thought I was dead. Oh, I thought that was blood. I think I'm losing my mind a little bit. So, yeah, he refers to it as two people kissing pee-pees. I thought that was awesome. All right, Mr. King. Mr. King, sir. Woo, it's getting hot in here. Man. Woo. I need to stop making that joke. And also, there was another point where, same thing, came from Danny's perspective. You know, in the beginning of the book, when they first, well, not really in the beginning, when they first get to the hotel, it talks a lot about the president's suite. Spelled S-U-I-T-E. And I know what you're thinking. Olive oil soup. I'm not fucking stupid. I know how to spell suite in the context of a hotel. There's a reason I told you how to spell it. So when you know when Danny's talking about it. Because Danny only knows the word that describes the taste. Sweet in the context of how something tastes. So when Danny is referring to the president's suite, he refers to it as S-W-E-E-T. Because he only hears his parents talking about it. And if he read it out of a book, he would say, like, Sueti or something. I don't fucking know. I grew up knowing how to pronounce almost everything. I'm not like that anymore, though. I don't know what happened. But couldn't have anything to do with those, I swear. But all in all, this was a really good book. And half the time, I found myself getting, like, I don't know if this is normal for people my age, but I think they're called excitement boners. Okay, that and because I like to enjoy just a little bit of hardcore porn when I you know, read my books. Would you like to get a taste? Of course you would, you fucking pervert. Oh, fuck yeah. Now that's what I'm talking about. Now that's a woman! So, what'd you think? It's actually my own brand of it. I like to call it soup smut. Next episode, I might put my balls in a pot of boiling stew. The things I do for YouTube, I swear. But all in all, what did I do with the... There it is. All in all, I'd have to give this book a very high rating. And, not only is the book really good, but it's also inspired me and opened my mind to the fact that I can read something other than Japanese cartoon books and funny Batman, which honestly comes as a surprise to me. The book is 600 pages, I believe. It has 660 pages in it. And, but every page is worth it. And if you're not into very long books like I am, well, don't read it. Just kidding. You need to read this thing. It's a definite 5 out of 5, a 10 out of 10, a 20 out of 20, a 69 out of 69. That's how good it is. I gave it a 69 out of 69. Now that's a nice score. God damn it. And, you know, I'm currently actually working my way through, Neil Gaiman's, American Gods. So far, it's a pretty good book. I'm on, like, page 96? It's not that bad. And I'm not going to tell you how long it took me to read this book, because it will make, both of us cry. You with laughter and me with emotional pain. Alright, it took me 2 months to read. 20 minutes every day, every morning, maybe sometimes at night, if I got lazy that morning. Yeah, it took me 2 months to read, which is probably not normal, but, yeah, who cares? I'm making progress, sort of, but that's gonna do it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed, and, yeah, have a good, well, it's night for me, but day, evening, whatever time zone you people live in. I don't fucking know. This is olive oil soup spilling on the floor.